Hello everyone, I'm here with the next chapter, that is Journey to the End of the Earth by Tishani Doshi. The introduction of the chapter. The lesson revolves around the world's most preserved place, Antarctica. Not many people have been there, but out of few that have, Tishani Doshi is one of them. A South Indian person who went on an expedition with a group of teenagers affiliated with Student on Ice program who takes young minds to different ends of the world. Thus, it gives an insight into how Antarctica is the place you should visit to have a glimpse of the past, present, and the future in its realistic form. Let's move on for the explanation of the chapter. In the beginning, the author talks about his journey to one of the coldest, driest, and windiest continent on Earth, Antarctica. He went there on a Russian research vessel known as the Kanamik Shokesli. The author is a South Indian man who began his journey from Madras. On his voyage, he crossed 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 water bodies, and just as many ecospheres. It took him about 100 hours of combined traveling by car, aeroplane, and then a ship to reach the continent. So, when he first set his feet on the continent, he felt utmost relief, for it was all wide as far as the eyes could see. The sight of the blue horizon was also very comforting. Next emotion that followed was that of wonderment. He was astonished by the fact that there was once a time when India and Antarctica were geographically connected. Let's connect it with the history. Millions of years ago, there was a supercontinent known as Gondwana, from which Antarctica and India are supposed to have been parted off. The situation, however, was completely different from how it is right now. There were no humans, and the climate was warmer, which gave rise to huge varieties of flora and fauna. Gondwana flourished for 500 million years until dinosaurs got extinct and human beings came into existence. The huge continent was then forced into segregation to form countries and the world as we know of it today. According to the author, if one wants to have a glimpse of history and from where we have originated, along with where we are headed, Antarctica is the right place. It is the best place to research and understand about mountain ranges and low elevation continents, ozone and carbon evolution and extinction. It is capable of giving an insight of the future, and that can be really startling. It was a very different experience for the narrator as being a South Indian, sun worshipping man. It was hard for him or anyone else to imagine living in a place where 90% of the Earth's total ice volumes are stored. Not only biological or physically difficult, but also for imagination. A place untouched by humans and their inventions. It gives an experience that makes you forget about all the other things. From small creatures like midges and mites to huge creatures like blue whales and icebergs, as big as countries, everything can be found in Antarctica. Days are never ending with sunlight all the time falling on the southern hemisphere. It is such a quiet place, interrupted only by falling mass of snow rapidly down a mountain. It is a setting that forces you to ponder upon Earth's geological history and helps you foresee future, which for humans doesn't seem very pleasant. Now, the human impact on that continent. Human life on Earth has been since steady 2000 years, which converts into few seconds on the geological clock. In merely this less time, humans have managed to exploit each and every resource, thereby creating a chaos in the nature. The ever increasing human population is robbing other species of necessities for survival. Not to forget about the unlimited exploitation of fossil fuels that have created a blanket of carbon dioxide around our planet, which is further increasing the average global temperature, thus leading to global warming. Global warming and climate change are high priority concerns these days. Questions like melting of Antarctic sheets, disruptions of Gulf Stream, oceans, and how the world will end still remains unanswered. Regardless, Antarctica remains an important part not only because it is untouched by humans, but also because of the ice core's half million years old carbon records trapped in its layers of ice. According to the author, if one wishes to study and analyze Earth's past, present, and future, Antarctica is the place to go. The author has been in Antarctica on an expedition with students on ICE, a program that takes young minds to the end of the world, which helps inspiring them to work towards a planet. It was started with a vision of providing life changing experiences to the future generation of policymakers to learn about the planet at a very early age. The initiative was introduction by Geoff Green, who got tired of his regular job. The initiative was introduced by Geoff Green, who got tired of his regular job once he got rich and wanted to give it back in some way. The program has been immensely successful in implementing its vision by the way people get affected by seeing the real scenario, because it is very easy to sit at home and talk about real issues. But actually, seeing glaciers retreating and ice shelves collapsing, it gives you a glimpse into the future. It tells you that the very threat of global warming is real. It is one of those places which limited biodiversity and thus has a less complicated ecosystem. As a result, little changes in its environment can have drastic effects. For instance, the microscopic phytoplankton are grasses of the sea that sustains the entire southern ocean food chain. Now, it has been recently concluded by scientists that a further depletion in the ozone layer can affect the activities of these single celled plants and affect the marine life altogether. Thus, in this case, the saying comes true: take care of the small things, and the big things will fall into place. Walk on the ocean. For all it took for him to travel from Madras to Antarctica, the 9 time zone, checkpoints, and various bodies of water, the author pondered upon the capability of nature to maintain its balance. He wondered what it would be like if Antarctica, the place that houses over 90% of the world's ice, becomes warm again. He wonders if he will be there to see it, if it ever happens, but who knows? Thus, by seeing the spirit of teenagers who still are left with the courage to save the world, he talks about the uncertainty of events that can happen over a million of years. Now, there's a summary for you to wind up the chapter. You can go through it, understand the chapter. In case of any confusion, drop down a message. See you on the next video. Thank you.